We going big. We going for it all this year.
In the corner, and that one is money.
Three-point Welker in the corner, he knocks it down once again.
Smith was just automatic from beyond the arc. It's time to put a bow on day one of the 2024 BSN Sports Homestead Holiday Tournament as the host Homestead Spartans take on the Penn Kingsmen. Good evening once again, everybody. I'm Braxton Hall, back with Atticus Dean. And Atticus, both these teams are coming off of different results this morning. A victory for Homestead, a defeat for Penn, but this game's still equally important for both squads as they look to keep their championship hopes alive.
Yeah, Braxton, neither one of these teams can dwell on their previous game, and they need to focus and just forget what happened in that last one and really just play this game to the best of their ability, as it's the most important game for both of these teams.
Let's take a look at the pool play standings now with 3 of our 4 sessions today in the books. You see in Pool A, where we're focused on right now, Zionsville, they're 2-0. They face Homestead tomorrow morning. Zionsville, they control their own destiny. They win that game, they are through to the tournament championship. If Homestead's able to take care of business against Penn, then a win for them in this game would mean that sets up a de facto semifinal against Zionsville tomorrow morning. Of course, Penn, they have something to say about it. If they get a win here, they keep their hopes for a championship berth alive. East Chicago so far the only team eliminated. Meanwhile, in Pool B, South Bend, St. Joe, Hamilton Southeastern, and Valpo will all go into tomorrow no matter what with a chance to make the championship game. Carroll can as well if they win against South Bend, St. Joe. If they lose, they would be eliminated like East Chicago.
Really just great games in this pool play. Really, this tournament brings out the best competitive basketball from each and every one of these teams in this tournament. Every game has been very close, and this tournament is just a great way to prepare teams for the tournament style and just the high competition they will face as the season reaches its twilight.
Take a look at the scores so far from today in this tournament. And this morning, the largest deficit in a game was just 7 points. But in the last games we just saw, it was a 12-point victory for Zionsville as they took down East Chicago. This is the Zionsville-Penn game from this morning. And then it was a 27-point victory for Hamilton Southeastern as they took down Valparaiso.
There's been a good mix of games in this one. There's been some teams making some statement wins, and there's been some very close nail-biting games that have come down to the last shot. So, I mean, again, like I said, this tournament is just full of many different types of games and many just very different atmospheres, but one common thing about all the games is that they're very competitive.
Getting ready for this big one in front of us here, and also one other score update. The Lady Spartans finished 3rd place in the Hall of Fame Classic as they just took down South Knox 73-70 in the consolation game down in Newcastle. So they go 1-1 on the day. Starting lineups about to be announced here for this one. And we'll start with the Homestead Spartans starting lineup. They are the designated visitors for this game. And starting for the Spartans, it'll be Aiden Good, Josh Rogers, Jake Kuhlman, Mac Welker, and Wyatt Weaver, the same as it's been the last 2 games.
Spartans fans are going to have to come to know and love this new starting lineup for the Spartans. The switch, more defensive-minded approach. As the Spartans are a defensive-minded team, they love to play tough defense, and the switch to Aiden Good in the starting lineup helps with that game plan.
And meanwhile, for the Penn Kingsmen, their first game of this tournament out on Spartan Arena will be 5'9" junior guard Benjamin Murphy, 5'11" junior guard Ruben Rutland will be coming off the bench as the 6th man. It'll be 6'4" point guard freshman Caleb Kuhlman starting in this game, 6'2" winger senior Alex Hawthorne, and then it'll be 6'6" senior John Bediant and 6'5" winger sophomore Peyton Miamba.
One thing I noticed there, Braxton, just the amount of size that is surrounding Murphy. Murphy has a bunch of tall playmakers around him to compensate for his smaller size as a guard at 5'9", but Kingsman just full of very tall and very skilled players, and if they can use that size to just dominate the Spartans in the paint and on the glass, they can ensure themselves a victory here in this one.
Both teams heading out. Glad you're joining us here on your Friday evening, a holiday week. We get ready to cap off day one of this holiday tournament. Both teams still alive for a spot in the championship game tomorrow. Homestead, a win here would mean they control their own destiny against Zionsville tomorrow morning. Penn, no matter what happens, they're going to need some help. They'd get one step closer with a victory here, and they have to win to keep their championship hopes alive. Welker in the circle for the Spartans. Meanwhile, Bedian out there for the Kingsmen. Ball is tipped, and we are underway. Josh Rogers gets it for the Spartans, and Kuhlman will bring it up the floor. Rogers with it for Homestead. He was held in check in the game this morning. Didn't do all that much. Mac Welker, he wasn't held in check. He had 18 points, all of them coming in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, Welker got into an early rhythm offensively, and it helped the Spartans stay in the game against East Chicago before the Spartans offense took off in that 4th quarter. But Welker, obviously, great game, but I'm sure he's not satisfied with not scoring in that 4th quarter.
Ball to Hawthorne. Now the three-pointer outside is good from Benjamin Murphy.
Murphy just getting the afternoon game here. Start off right. Wide open 3 is knocked down.
Kingsmen start this game in the lead. Wyatt Weaver now with it for the Spartans. Going up, can't get it to fall. And the rebound by the Kingsmen ends up in the hands of Kuhlman. Now back to Homestead. Jake Kuhlman bringing up the floor. Got a Kuhlman on each team in this game. Caleb Kuhlman starting for the Kingsmen. Jake Kuhlman out there for the Spartans. And, of course, Coach Kuhlman of the Kingsmen here as well. Jake Kuhlman has the ball for the Spartans. Now Wyatt Weaver. He had a pretty quiet game this morning as well. Eating good. Goes out to Welker. Jake Kuhlman three-pointer is up, and that one is good. He matches the 3 on the other end and ties us up early.
And Kuhlman really, for the Spartans, I should specify, really offensively was held in check and was pretty quiet against East Chicago Central. But if he can get going here in this one, that helps the Spartans offense a lot, is whenever Jake Kuhlman gets things going, it seems like the Spartans pick up on the energy and get their offense going as a unit.
Ball swatted away by Welker as it was Bedian that time was trying to go up with it. Caleb Kuhlman will now inbound it for the Kingsmen. Throws it in, catch and shoot three-pointer off the inbound. Is good from Alex Hawthorne.
Well, Penn certainly not struggling offensively early in this one, but similar to the Spartans earlier game, both teams got off going quick in that first quarter, but that second quarter, really, the Spartans and the Cardinals both struggled, but I imagine in this one there's going to be no shortage of offense.
Getting in a foul called against Caleb Kuhlman of the Kingsmen. First foul of this game. Jake Kuhlman inbound it now for the Spartans. Throws it into Josh Rogers. Rogers goes out to Kuhlman. Now the jumper is good. Mac Welker gets his first points of this game after 18 this morning. On the other side, Caleb Kuhlman has it, just a freshman starting for the Kingsmen. And we're going to get a foul called against Aiden Good. It's got a little bit of grabby that time on the defensive side.
Good, just a little too aggressive on the defensive end as he was trying to navigate through the Kingsman screen, just a little too handsy. So now early foul goes to him.
Benjamin Murphy with it. Up the floor, he'll turn around. Finds Caleb Kuhlman, who gets the shot to go. So the Kingsman offense rolling early on.
Just a simple backdoor play there from the Kingsman. Spartans weren't ready. Aiden Good didn't have his hands or his head aware of where the ball was, so just an easy backdoor layup for Caleb Kuhlman.
Josh Rogers spinning around. Pass outside. Weaver just inside the arc. That one's money. Weaver averaging 6 points per game coming into this tournament. Cam Coleman passes it. And then the dish, that time going nowhere. Bonner was trying to find Miamba down low. So Jake Coleman with it now for the Spartans. We approach the midway point of quarter number 1. Not too much separation. Spartans trailing by just 1. Weaver to Jake Coolman. Down to Rogers. Aiden Good. Guarded by Bonner. Now Coolman top of the key. Thought about it for a second. Gets a screen from Welker. Goes out to Aiden Good. Now Weaver swinging it around, making the extra pass to Rogers, spinning around. Jake Coolman ends up with it again for the Spartans. Now Mac Welker. He's going to drive inside, some contact. Shot doesn't go, but he goes back up. Can't get it to fall the second time either. On the other end, Miamba has it, and they're going to say he traveled. And under no pressure from the Spartans, just makes the unforced error.
Something to know of the Spartans' offense early. There's been many times where Aiden Good looks inside for a post feed but doesn't have it, and he'll have shooters open. Just all he needs to make is a simple skip pass, and he's hesitated on making those skip passes or the inside post pass. So the Spartans, sometimes they do that. They hesitate and the ball sticks a little too much, and that can cause their offense to get stagnant.
Josh Rogers with the ball for the Spartans. Going to his left. Out to Jake Coolman, three-pointer. That time it's short. Kingsmen come away with it again. Now 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Caleb Coolman passes it in the hands of Price just into the game, and they just gave him plenty of space. He didn't want to shoot at Caleb Coolman, though. He will, and he nails the three. Rogers with it for the Spartans, down by 4. To Jake Coolman, Aiden Good, wide open three-point attempt is money. Aiden Good came into this tournament 50% from beyond the arc. Of course, not just being 1 of 2, but gets one to go here.
And you see there, Spartans make the skip pass, find the open shooter and Good, and he knocks it down. If the Spartans can make those skip passes more often when they're there, it can help them get open looks.
Open look at that time on the other end. Benjamin Murphy gets the jumper to go. Lead extended back to 3. Josh Rogers brings it up the floor for the Spartans. Out to Coolman. Wyatt Weaver. Driving inside. Can't get it to go. Just a little bit strong off the rim. Caleb Coolman has it for the Kingsmen. Passing it to the top. Three-pointers up. Caleb Coolman, this time no good. Ball deflected, and it was last touched by Bonner, so the ball will go to the Spartans as they make some substitutions. Brogan McNeese and Owen Smith, as well as Michael Rodenbush, all checking into the game. Good, Welker, and Rogers heads to the bench. And then meanwhile, the substitution for the Kingsmen as Ethan Good checks in for the first time.
Well, Brax, we're going to have to get really specific with our player names here. Unusual that we have this many repeating last names.
Hey, 3 Coolmans involved in this game in some form or fashion. 2 Goods. You get through it. Should be a fun one. Rodenbush to Jake Coolman this time, guarded by Ethan Good. There you go. Pass outside to Owen Smith, and now Brogan McNeese dishes it to Wyatt Weaver. Weaver spinning around. And a reset to Jake Coolman. Coolman, I say he was fouled before he went out of bounds. And that's going to be charged against Mikhail Price, his first. Kuhlman inbounds it to Brogan McNeese. Now back to Kuhlman. Looks like a design play here for the Spartans. McNeese on the wing to Wyatt Weaver, trying to get to the basket. Gets his feet settled just enough to make it go. And the Kingsmen with it, up by 1, 45 seconds to go in this first quarter, and a foul charged against Wyatt Weaver. That's his first. Spartans still with 2 to give. Both teams with 2 to give, actually, and we approach the final stages of this first quarter. And Josh Rogers and Mac Wilker are going to come back in for the Spartans after a very short rest. Wyatt Weaver will check out for the first time. Ethan Good with the ball. Good, guarded by Wilker. Now at the top, Caleb Kuhlman thought about it for a second. He had a little bit of separation, but Rogers closes in. Kingsman maybe holding for the final shot. And again, Homestead has 2 fouls to give. If they want to use them, we've seen teams throughout this tournament not afraid to foul in the closing seconds of a quarter if they have ones to give. Ethan Good with the ball. Arnebush playing pretty far off of him. Now Good going to move into the offense. Spins around. Caleb Kuhlman, three-pointer. No good. Board as the shot goes up. That time doesn't get the roll. Obermeyer just a little bit unlucky, and that puts an end to the first quarter, shaping out to maybe be another classic here in the Homestead Holiday Tournament. It's 13-12 after 1.
Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Getting ready for quarter number 2 here in the BSN Sports Homestead Holiday Tournament. Penn Kingsmen lead the host Homestead Spartans 13-12 after 1. Penn, a new team in this tournament, their first year a part of it. Suffered a heartbreaker this morning, losing by 2 points to Zionsville. Looking to bounce back and take down the hosts. Of course, Homestead, they went 0-4 last year in this tournament. They've already got 1 win, winning their first. As a travel, going to be called there against Bonner, already his second. Rogers will bring up the floor for Homestead. So 8 minutes of play in the books. What have you seen so far?
I've seen a great balanced offensive attack from both teams. I've seen obviously some mistakes and turnovers, but I have also seen some nice intense defense, especially down low in the post. Both teams are battling down there, not allowing the other to get good position and trying to get a rebound or a post look. So both teams battling and both teams adjusting to each other, and if both teams continue to play how they have been through that first quarter play, we're going to be in for a great one here.
And Welker gives the Spartans the lead. Going under the arm of the defender, and he lays it home. Now Bonner passes out to Murphy. Back on the other side, Obermeyer. Back in his hands on the wing, working towards the top. Dishes wide open. Easy lay-in that time for Price. So Penn right back in the lead. 15-14, just over 6.5 to go first half. Pass outside to Owen Smith. Now Mac Welker jumpers up, and a laser drops from Mac Welker.
Welker just so good in that mid-range area. The one dribble pull-up is his specialty. Really hard to guard with his size.
Murphy with the ball. Now outside. Obermeyer in the hands of Ethan Good. Good, back to Obermeyer. Steps up. Ethan Good from the free throw line. That time a bit strong. But the rebound from Bonner sitting on the rim, and it drops. How about that one? Thing was up there for 5 seconds before it fell.
Basketball wasn't quite sure if it wanted to drop for Bonner or not, and Bonner only got the opportunity due to a miscommunication between the Spartans. Two Spartans defenders both went for the rebound. Bonner scoop and score. Look what I found.
Welker three-pointer. That one is good. The offenses, I mean, they've been good in this game, really waking up to begin the second quarter. Mac Welker already with 9 points in this game after 18 this morning. Brian Murphy with it. Outside, Ethan Good, three-pointer. No good. Fight for the rebound. Ronenbush has it. And a foul's going to go the other way. Let's see who goes against. Obermeyer and Price run the area. And they're going to charge the foul to Price. That one going to be his second. Both teams making several substitutions. Other game just past the first quarter there. South Bend St. Joe leading Carroll 18-15. Mac Welker, another three-pointer, and he is having a day. Now up to 12 points in this game, a combined 30 between the game this morning and this one. Kingsman trying to strike back. That shot might have been deflected as Bettiant couldn't get it to go. On the other end, Ronenbush pulls up for the Spartans and gets it to fall. Everything's dropping right now. And wisely, Coach Coleman of the Kingsmen going to burn a timeout as his team seeing the Spartans go on a run right now. In fact, Homestead has rattled off the last 8 points. And they find themselves in the lead 24-17 with 4:29 to go in the first half. See Coach Johnson there talking to his team. Well, what's been working well for the Spartans these last few possessions?
2 words, Mac Welker. I mean,
fair enough.
Really, he just had a cushion. I mean, the Kingsmen really just, I'm surprised they haven't been stepping up. They haven't been respecting his jump shot as much as I would expect them to, considering how early he's got going. And I imagine now the Kingsmen are going to start guarding him a little more closely, try to get something off the dribble. But, I mean, the Spartans as a whole, besides obviously Mac Welker, they've moved well off the ball. They've knocked down their open looks. That was the thing against East Chicago Central. They had open looks. They just could not get them to fall. And here in this one, they're making their open looks, and their offense looks good.
Oh, and just like this morning, Homestead's offense has been the best when Welker is out on the floor, whether he's the one scoring or not, because he draws a little bit of attention away from the other players. And Welker has half the points for Homestead so far in this game. Brian Murphy with it now. He has 5 points for the Kingsmen. Hawthorne has it poked free. Jake Kuhlman diving on it. Ball still loose. Jake Kuhlman comes away with it, and Coach Johnson going to be granted the timeout. So Homestead gets a turnover there. 4:03 to go in this first half. So both teams now with 4 timeouts remaining for the remainder of the evening. Don't forget, this is just day 1 of the Homestead Holiday Tournament. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll wrap up pool play with a doubleheader in Spartan Arena. 4 placement games tomorrow night. The 3rd place game in the championship will be here in Spartan Arena. 5th place and 7th place games will be over in the auxiliary gym. And what a great tournament this has been each of the last 3 years, and it's living up to the hype again this season.
The Holiday Tournament never seems to disappoint. All the games are very entertaining, and they're all very competitive. And it's just a great environment for each and every one of these teams in the tournament.
3-pointer good from Ronenbush, and kind of wrapping up that thought. I mean, like the last game, HSC, they were dominating against Valparaiso. Usually that game wouldn't matter down the stretch, but Valparaiso fighting for point differential. They kept grinding till the end. They cut into the deficit a little bit, and that made that game still entertaining to watch down the stretch, regardless of it being a big blowout, as the lay-in goes on the other side from Bettiant, and he'll have an and one opportunity at the line. Bedian will go to the stripe. He leads the team in rebounds per game with 4.6. And his free throw no good this time. Welker with the ball. Over to Kuhlman. Down to Josh Rogers, an 8-point lead for the Spartans.
And again, you see Spartans facing a zone, trying to get some traps. The Spartans, they have struggled times against pressure like this and a lot of different zones and a lot of different traps. The Spartans, they struggle to take care of the ball. Let's see how they respond here. Are they going to speed up? Are they going to turn the ball over? Are they going to stay calm and keep playing their game that has built them their lead?
Now, most of the teams we've seen in Spartan Arena have been running man defenses so far today. What are the pros and cons of running the zone instead?
Running a zone, there's the surprise factor. I mean, when you're out of a timeout and you see your opponent in a different zone without you having time to draw something up, it can be a little scary for a player. But also, the zone, it causes people to make quick decisions. When they have, if it's a trap zone like Kingsmen are playing now, you have two defenders running at you. You don't have time to sit there and think. You have to try to make something happen quickly. So the zone also just forces a lot of unorthodox things to occur for the offense. They have to get to different spots. They have to work on different approaches of attack. But one thing about the Spartans is consistent. They love to get the ball inside, whether it's a zone or a man.
That's what they did on that possession. Wyatt Weaver gets 6 points already in this game. Brian Murphy tosses it to Bedia. Now Caleb Kuhlman. Back in his hands less than 2 minutes ago in the first half. Homestead has opened up a 10-point lead, trailing almost the entire first quarter. They have dominated the second.
And Braxton, I want to note something. Welker and Weaver are just giving their man just a huge cushion, just almost daring them to shoot. And that's honestly the difference between some teams. I mean, the Spartans, every single player for the Spartans out there can stretch the floor. They can shoot. While the Kingsmen, I think it's Miamba and Bidian that are the ones that are being left and dared to shoot. I mean, that opens up the Spartans' defense to send extra help and try to get some traps and provide more pressure, while Kingsmen, they can't really do anything, as they are basically forced to deal with multiple Spartans defenders at all times.
She's going to keep an eye on as this game progresses. Homestead, you mentioned, just daring Penn to shoot. We'll see if they try to take advantage of it. Since Homestead started doing that, Kingsmen, I mean, they flat out struggled offensively. Meanwhile, Ronamush wing three-pointer, and there you go. Stretch from the floor like you were just talking about.
I mean, just the Spartans, every single player out there for the Spartans has a developed jump shot from at least mid-range, maybe even further out.
On the other side, Kingsmen able to get that one to go. It's Caleb Kuhlman. Now Jake Kuhlman with it for the Spartans. Less than a minute to go in the first half. Pass out to Rodenbush. Now Josh Rogers. We'll see if Homestead holds for the final shot. Penn held for the final full last minute of the first quarter. A foul going to be charged here against Bonner. Still 2 fouls to give for the Kingsmen. Homestead 3 to give. So likely the Penn Kingsmen won't see the bonus here in this second quarter. Rogers to inbound it, gets it to Rodenbush. Coleman will come up from behind in the back court. 30 seconds to go, first half now. Josh Rogers. Guarded by Bardo. Now Jake Coleman. Welker has some space going up. A lot of contact, no foul call, but Welker gets the basket to go. He's got 14 first half points. Now on the other side, Caleb Kuhlman, 5 on the clock, and there's the first foul from the Spartans. Likely we'll see them foul at least once more as they have them to give. That's something I think we've seen a lot more of this season, maybe years past, and that could be attributed to the rules change. This is the second year with the 5 foul bonus per quarter, but teams willing to foul down the stretch of quarters as Rodemush commits another one there.
I mean, yeah, not only does it chip away the time and give the offenses less time to work with, but also gets them out of a rhythm. I mean, if you're a player, you catch it with minimal time left, your instant reaction is to go downhill. But if you have someone wrapping you up, you lose that momentum and you have to try to adjust. I mean, see it there.
Oh, how about that to end the first half? Well, Caleb Kuhlman airballed it, but it worked out to perfection. Maybe it was just an intentional pass right there to Bardo.
I mean, I was going to say, you see there, due to the Spartan chip away at the time, Kuhlman did not have a good look and had to force that up. But, I mean, it worked out. I mean, right place, right time there is Bardo. Well, that's a momentum play going into the half. I mean, Kingsman needed a bucket there, and they got one, unconventional as it is. A bucket is a bucket.
And cuts the deficit down to 11 as we head to halftime. Homestead leads 34-23, looking to punch their spot to a semifinal against Zionsville.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT, Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
The Air National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just 1 weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT, Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
Halftime here in Game 4 of our holiday tournament quadruple header in Spartan Arena, and the host, Homestead Spartans, taking care of business up 34-23 over Penn. And we'll take a look at the first half stats from this game. You see them on your screen there. First number that sticks out to me, 6 3-pointers for Homestead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I say it more often than I don't. The game of basketball is changing, and 3-pointers are key for success. If you shoot and hit more threes than your opponent, mathematically and statistically, you should win most of the time, and the Spartans have done that. They have dominated the three ball. Seems like they haven't missed. Obviously, they missed 2, but it just seemed like for a couple minutes the Spartans were on fire and could not miss. And another thing that stands out to me, Spartans 0 turnovers, Kingsmen 4. Well, 4 turnovers in one half isn't bad, but just the Spartans haven't turned the ball over, and that's something that the Spartans struggle with at times, and they've really cleaned up their act here in this one.
Yeah, Homestead leading in every category except for rebounds, where Penn has the advantage of 2. But limited to that 3-point percentage, Homestead, a team that is a very good 3-point shooting team, 46% on the year, but 75% in this game. And that's going to be hard to stop. And Penn, maybe they have to try to shoot it more from beyond the arc, because they've made 50% of them, so trying to get some more to drop in.
Yeah, it just seems like Penn has had some personnel that isn't all that confident in the 3-point ability. I mean, we talked about Weaver and Welker just kind of leaving their guys, daring them to shoot the 3 ball, and not only does that hurt your offense, but also may hurt your players' confidence. I mean, you spend all this time training and working to get better, and then the other team just doesn't respect your shot. I mean, that's something that either the players have to get more confident and let it fly, or Penn has to get some personnel in there that can knock down the 3 ball and try to get back in this one quickly.
I'm taking a look at the scores from today's games. Most of the games going on here for the holiday tournament. You see South Bend St. Joe up 30. Now Carroll's just scored a free throw, so 30-20 now over Carroll with 21 seconds to go until halftime over in the auxiliary gym. Also the game from us, Homestead up 34-23 over Penn. Lady Spartans finished third in the Hall of Fame Classic, 73-70 over South Knox. The game we saw before us, Hamilton Southeastern 69-42 over Valparaiso. And then Zionsville 55-43 over East Chicago Central. So the later window of games certainly haven't been as close as this morning, but it's setting up for a fun day tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be full of teams that are ready to compete, and very great teams that have performed here today, and they're going to be confident going in knowing that they can easily win this thing. So I think tomorrow, Braxton, me, you, and Malachi are all going to be in for a treat of games.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. If the score holds, Homestead and Zionsville tomorrow morning would be a de facto semifinal game. The winner would go to the championship. The loser would go to the third place game, regardless of what happens between East Chicago and Penn. If the Kingsmen, though, they're able to come back and win this game, then they keep their championship hopes alive, and it could lead to a chaos situation with points differential tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. Meanwhile, over in Pool B, right now, Valparaiso losing to Hamilton Southeastern. That puts it where those two teams are both at 1-1. And South Bend St. Joe winning by 10 over Carroll. Assuming that score holds, South Bend St. Joe would control their own destiny tomorrow morning. If they lose, it'd likely come down to point differential with HSE because Valpo's big loss. If Carroll loses, they are eliminated from championship contention.
Even the games wrapping up here tonight have so much weight and so much impact on tomorrow's game. So you really, I mean, there's 2 good games on right now. I really can't choose which one to focus on. Obviously, I have to focus on this one because I'm calling it, but just a great slate of games tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we got too many screens on up here trying to follow all the games going on. It's a fun day of basketball. With that, we're going to take a quick break. We're back in 60 seconds with the second half.
Rethink your limits.
Homestead holding an 11-point lead over Penn and in possession of the ball to begin the second half as we're ready to get back underway from Spartan Arena. Braxton Hall and Atticus Dean with you as we wrap up Game 4 of our quadruple header. Glad you've been with us, whether you've been here all day or just tuning in for certain games. Hope you've enjoyed all the basketball action we've had for you. Of course, any more you want to watch over on Homestead Media 2, covering the games in the auxiliary gym, currently South Bend, St. Joe, and Carroll at halftime. So here we go. Aiden Good will inbound it for the Spartans. Gets it into Jake Kuhlman. We're back underway. 16 minutes to go in this one. And Kuhlman will bring it up the floor. Jake Kuhlman passes out to Mac Welker. Had 14 points in that first half. Now Josh Rogers. He's been pretty quiet offensively in these two games the Spartans have had today. Actually yet to score in this one. He's made some plays moving the ball around. Now Wyatt Weaver. Step back jumper. In and out.
The Kingsmen intensity on defense picked up levels to start the second half. I mean, Kuhlman facing pressure all the way back at his own volleyball line. Kingsmen here, they're showing that they are not going anywhere. They're going to up the pressure and make the Spartans work to keep their lead.
Josh Rogers with the ball. On a Wyatt Weaver. Mag Welker, why not beyond the arc? That time no good. Board ends up in the hands of Miamba. The Kingsmen will have possession. Now Miamba going to try a three-pointer and misses that time. We talked about it in the first half. Spartans were almost daring him to shoot. Got a pretty good look there, but couldn't convert.
Hey, even Miamba not making the three, it also, like, obviously you want to hit the shot, but just him being able to show that he is a threat and has the ability to knock down the three ball and has confidence to shoot it, it causes the Spartans to maybe rethink their defensive assignments and decisions. Are they going to step up, or are they just going to wait until he hits some consistently and keep leaving him? Something that the Spartans are going to have to figure out. But if Miamba can hit some shots and get some stuff going from beyond the arc, that can open up their offense and help them claw back.
Betty gets the steal. Now Murphy with it. Pass out Caleb Kuhlman, guarded by Aiden Good. A little 4-on-4, but Mac Welker gets the board for the Spartans. Now Kuhlman looking to go quickly to Wyatt Weaver. Homestead maybe going to settle into their offense. Jake Kuhlman picks it up, goes to Wyatt Weaver. Now dishes to Mac Welker. Reverse lays it in. Mac Welker with 16 points now in this game and a beautiful shot. That time as they're showing the replay in the arena, and just great move from Welker to get it off the glass. Dish down low. Murphy has it deflected. Weaver almost got to it. Instead, Miamba able to lay it in.
Miamba already looking way more aggressive offensively to start this second half, looking for his own shot. As in the first half, he really didn't look to attack, look to score.
Kuhlman airballs it that time. Lead still at 11. It's where we were at halftime. And a travel, their third time they're going to get Miamba for walking with the ball this game.
It's good for the Kingsmen that Miamba wants to score, but he needs to slow down and establish his pivot, feet first. Like I said, third time that he's traveled, just tries to go a little too far before he actually gets the ball. Thinking about driving before he even has it in his hands, just needs to slow down a little bit.
Jake Kuhlman with the ball for the Spartans on the midcourt logo. Rogers fakes the screen, now going to get the pass. Rogers out to Wyatt Weaver just inside the arc. And Weaver, as that one misses, he seems a lot more confident today in trying those outside shots, even though many of them haven't fallen.
I mean, again, the same principle goes with Weaver that I said with Miamba. Just him shooting them caused defense to question if they should guard him and caused defense to think that he is a threat from outside of just the painted area.
Jake Kuhlman with the ball. From beyond the arc, Weaver has only attempted 2 all season. Actually 3 if you count the one this morning as our stats currently we're leading up to the tournament, but he did have one this morning that didn't drop as well. So 3 attempts from beyond the arc. None of them have fallen so far, but he has gotten some deeper jumpers to go throughout the season that are just inside the arc. Josh Rogers with it. Pass out left to Aiden Good. Now Coleman spinning around. Rogers floats it over top. Wyatt Weaver has it taken away from him. So here come the Kingsmen. Miamba is going to try the long ball again. That one well short. Weaver gets the board. Dump it off to Rogers. Midway through this third quarter. And the margin the exact same it was in the locker room, an 11-point lead for the Spartans. Jake Kuhlman driving, going under the defender and laying it in. And surprisingly, that just the 5th point of the game for Jake Kuhlman, as he has been involved in a lot of plays but hasn't scored all that much in this one. 3-pointer on the corner. Again, no good, as Miamba's now missed 3 3-pointers this quarter, and big substitutions coming here. Looks like we're going to get 2 new players in for the Spartans, Brogan McNeese and Michael Rodenbush, and 4, I believe, new players in for the Kingsmen. As Ethan Good is going to check in, as will Tayshawn Bardo, Mikhail Price, and rounding out the substitutions, Christian Bonner. Rodenbush with it for the Spartans, gets a screen from McNeese. Now the pick and roll. McNeese not able to get it to fall. Now comes Bardo up the right side. Double team comes from Homestead, and a foul going to be charged to Brogan McNeese. That'll send Bardo to the free throw line. Tayshawn Bardo's first trip to the line. And his first one is money. Smith going to sub back in for Homestead. Averaging 6 points per game this season. And Bardo goes 2 for 2 at the line, so back down to 11 points. Rodenbush with the ball for Homestead. He has found tight defense that time from Caleb Kuhlman. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Taken away, Bardo lays it in. We're back down to a single-digit ball game.
And the Kingsmen picking up the intensity on defense. Full court man. Just constant energy, constant pressure, not allowing the Spartans to get anything going comfortably, even the inbounds pass, which was picked off.
Jake Kuhlman to Brogan McNeese. Pass back to Mac Welker. Out to Jake Kuhlman. Working towards his right. The free throw line. Here we go. This is basically just a free throw. Can't make it. And Bardo will get the board. Pass outside. Back to Bardo. He'll drive in, and back-to-back buckets for him. Maybe he needs to be out on the floor more. So he gets that one to go. He's got 6 points in this game. Deficit down to 7. And a foul there as Bardo ran into the screen. Kingsmen want the offensive foul call, but it goes against Bardo instead. Homestead hold on to the ball. Weaver checks back in for Homestead. Ball inbounded to Owen Smith. Smith passes it back to Kuhlman. Now right side, Rodenbush jumper doesn't get the roll, and now chance to cut it down to a 2-possession game on this possession from the Kingsmen. Bardo with the ball. Just over 90 seconds to go, third quarter. Penn cutting in the deficit. They've outscored the Spartans by 4 points so far in this quarter. Bardo gonna start a drive, pull up. That time no good. Tip back, doesn't drop. Rodenbush comes away with it for Homestead. Now Rodenbush again with the ball. Wyatt Weaver, left side. Spinning around, Jake Coolman has it. So we approach the 1 minute mark to go in the third.
The intensity of this game has just picked up, especially for the Kingsmen. Their bench has come alive. Their fans are starting to get loud and rowdy, and the Spartans right now just quiet. I mean, they're thrown out of rhythm. I mean, they were comfortable. They were very calm in this game, but coming out of halftime, and especially late in this third quarter, the Kingsmen have just picked up the intensity level to a whole new level that the game had not seen before.
Well, you mentioned the crowd a little bit, and it is an interesting dynamic. It's not really a full home crowd for the Spartans, even though they are the home team. It's a holiday week. A lot of people staying home, maybe watching the games online, and so maybe not the usual home court advantage that they would have, and the Penn's fans are bringing the energy right now.
Yes, they are. After every single positive play that Penn makes, their bench stands up. They get loud. The fans get loud. And right now, the Spartans have to wonder maybe if they feel like they are truly the away team in their own home territory.
Barno will be going to the free throw line here, sitting on 8 points in this game. And his first free throw is good. Now 3 of 3 from the line. Trying to crack double digits. Not going to be able to do it that time as Homestead's lead stays at 6. And Owen Smith going to be fouled immediately. And that one's going to be charged against Ethan Good. So Penn still very much in this game. They have cut Homestead's lead in half. So the Spartans are led by 11.
And now the full court pressure. Penn picking up, but the Spartans just football style down the court to a wide open Aiden Good. And maybe that'll calm the Penn crowd down, try to get Spartans some of their momentum back.
Kingsman brought the blitz, and Aiden Good went on a streak. As the jumper that time goes from Bardo. He is just locked in right now. This third quarter has belonged to him. Now up to 11 points. As Rodenbush gets fouled by Bonner. And that will send the Spartans to the free throw line now in the bonus. So Michael Rodenbush, 82% from the line this season. First attempt of the evening. And that one no good. Just something about today. Good free throw shooters for pretty much every team. Haven't been able to convert their free throws, at least not consistently.
Maybe the tournament style of these games adds a little bit of pressure, causes them to think more about whether they make or miss this free throw.
Rodenbush misses both, 81% like I said on the year. Can't get him to drop that time, and now Penn can cut the deficit. Here's, you see the clock on your screen frozen, there's 8 seconds to go. Now the ball comes free for Ethan Good. Owen Smith down court, 3 on the clock. He'll lay it in, and that will end the third quarter. It looked like Penn was going to have a chance to cut it down to maybe 1 possession before the fourth quarter started, but instead, Homestead extends their lead. It's now 42-34, an 8-point lead for Homestead as we head to the fourth. Back here at Spartan Arena, getting ready for quarter number 4. Homestead leading 42-34 over Penn. You see the score bug on your screen. Not quite updated right now. They're working on getting that fixed, but One thing, it is right possession arrow in favor of Penn. We'll get the ball to begin in this fourth quarter, down by 3 possessions. For the Kingsmen, what do they need to do to come back in this fourth quarter?
I think they need to just get some better shot opportunities. I feel like sometimes they're forcing a lot of shots trying to get stuff to fall. If they can work the ball around, obviously they're down and they have the clock, I guess, at this point working against them, but there's still almost 8 minutes of time left in this game. They have plenty of time. If they just settle back in and play how they did in that first quarter, where they were taking what the Spartans defense gave them, they can get back in this one.
Rogers has it for Homestead as the defense holds on that first possession. Penn did get the deficit down to as little as 6. It's been as high as 11 in the second half. In fact, actually, I think it got up to 13 at one point. And there's a foul here going to be charged to Bardo. Rogers will inbound it on the side. Actually, now they're going to go with Rodenbush. On the side for the Spartans. Throws it in. On the hands of Owen Smith to Wyatt Weaver, cutting to the basket. He lays it in. 44-34 Homestead. 7 minutes to go. You see the scoreboard time now beginning to work. Score still just a little bit off for the moment. Homestead up by 10. Bardo, a lot of contact, nothing doing there. The ball just kind of rolled off his fingers.
Again, just Kingsman trying to force something while maybe should have been a foul, a lot of contact. Can't blame the officials for everything, have to move on. But Kingsman, they're forcing a lot of things, and the Spartans just look like the calmer team. They've just been taking what Penn's defense has given them.
Murphy with it, passing back, but a travel first. And not sure if that's being called on Murphy or Miyamba. If it's Miyamba, that's his 4th time in this game, and that ball we turn over to the Spartans.
The turnover battle has been key in this one, and Penn find themselves on the losing end of it. And I mean, 4 just ill-advised travel calls before you can even get anything going offensively. That just can't happen in a game with this magnitude.
Ball dish to Weaver. Pass back, Aiden good. Now Rodenbush. And Rodenbush going to be fouled. Now going to be charged to Obermeyer. And substitution. Alexander Hawthorne going to check it back in for Penn. He started the game, but really he's not done much in this contest. He had 3 points in the first quarter, but since then he's been on the bench most of the evening. It's been interesting lineups for Penn. It just seems like they're trying to find a lineup that works, and nothing seems to be doing it consistently.
Yeah, Penn has found some lineups that have had short bursts of success, but they haven't found that one lineup that can give you 5 to 6 minutes of continual success. And as unfortunate and as easy as it may seem to fix, it really isn't. I mean, Penn just has to figure out a group of guys that can contribute and that can work well together, and they just haven't in this one, and that's something they need to figure out in this tournament and also just for the rest of their season.
Christian Bonner hobbling off the court there after the hard collision with Jake Coleman. I hope he's okay as he checks out of the game for the time being. Josh Rogers with the ball. Pass to Wyatt Weaver. Weaver goes back. 3-pointers up from Rodenbush. That's no good. Penn, they have to win this game to keep their championship hopes alive. But the charge there is going to send it back the way of the Spartans.
There, Rodenbush taking a charge, something he does so well for this team. Really stepped up this year as a defensive presence. Last year, he was more of an offensive-oriented player, but this year really has taken the role of, I think, someone put his body on the line and just contribute very heavily defensively for the Spartans. He's shined in that role.
Blue and gold bringing the physicality on both sides of the ball as Wilker inbounds it to Weaver. Now Rodenbush with it. Homestead got to be careful here. Don't want to get a 10-second call. And then Jake Coleman. Wilker with it in the corner. And Coleman. Update from the other game, 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. South Bend St. Joe leads Carroll by 11 as the turnover in this one. Obermeyer now to the top, Hawthorne. Penn taking their time right now. Ronibush bringing a little bit of pressure. Caleb Kuhlman going to go for the three-pointer. Gets that one to go catch and shoot. Just a 7-point game and a timeout called now by Coach Kuhlman of the Kingsmen. Trying to get things back on track. Deficit down to 7. We'll step away with 4:41 to go. Back at Spartan Arena, 4:41 to go in the fourth quarter. This is our nightcap. Our quadruple header of pool play action in the BSN Sports Homestead Holiday Tournament. We're back at 10 a.m. tomorrow here in Spartan Arena. It'll be Homestead taking on Zionsville, followed by HSC versus Carroll. Still a lot of business to take care of in this one. Championship implications, of course. All these games count towards the regular season as well, so you want to win every game that you can. Coach Kuhlman calling the timeout after his team gets the three-pointer to cut it down to 7. What do you think the thinking is behind that decision?
I mean, just trying to get his team situated in the situation they're in. I mean, discuss what their game plan is. Obviously, now they're putting even more pressure on the Spartans. I mean, at this point, they have to try to force some Spartan turnovers. I imagine he also came up with some offensive strategies as well, something that I think Penn should use more as their size. They have a lot of size on their roster, and they really haven't used that to their advantage as much as I think they could in this one.
Jake Kuhlman with the ball. He's going to be fouled by Caleb Kuhlman. Little Kuhlman on Kuhlman crime. And that already putting the Spartans into the bonus with still more than half the quarter to play. So this is going to play a major role in this game down the stretch. How well can the Spartans do at the free throw line? First one is good.
The Spartans are going to have to be able to handle the ball down the stretch of this one as the Kingsmen are continuing to fight. They're upping the pressure as the game goes on. The Spartans are going to have to be ready to handle it like they have been all game long.
8-point lead. Kuhlman goes 1 of 2. Got 6 points in this game. Now spinning around. Caleb Kuhlman deflected by Welker. So it'll stay with Penn.
Braxton, I don't know if you just noticed that, but 2 coaches for the Kingsmen trying to coach Price how to get some dominant position in the post. Price standing at 6'8". I mean, that's just size you don't see every day, and if he can use that get position over Weaver, over Welker, and get some rebounds, get some putback layups, that can help them for when they do miss some of the shots that they have. They kind of have to force some shots, so if they can crash offensive glass, get multiple looks, that can help them claw back in this one.
To their credit, though, Homestead has done a phenomenal job of boxing him out, not really letting him get to it. You saw that last possession. He had a little bit of a reach for it, but not really in good position. You can tell he was a priority in the game plan for the Spartans.
I mean, again, 6'8" opponent, you have to work on boxing him out. If you just stand there, he's going to reach over top of you. He's going to be able to easily snag the rebound. So boxing out is something that's a team effort, and the Spartans have done a great job at that in this game.
Obermeyer three-pointer. We've got a 5-point game. The Kingsmen not going away with still more than 3 minutes to play. Welker's got to inbound it. They're counting off for 5 seconds. He'll get it into Rottenbush. Here comes Hawthorne bringing some pressure. Homestead, they have collapsed in the fourth quarter of games this season in 2 of their 3 losses. And Weaver, he seems to be in some pain as he is fouled, and he is limping to the charity stripe. I'm starting to talk about Homestead trying to avoid another fourth quarter collapse here. A big reason the Spartans are going to come out of here with the victory, if they do, is going to be free throws. But Weaver misses it, and you can see he's still grimacing. Definitely in some pain right now.
Yeah, before he lined up to shoot his free throw, I saw him talking to the sideline, just telling him, hey, I need a sub after these two, and it's a huge loss for the Spartans. I mean, we talked about boxing out, and he's been a huge reason why Price hasn't been able to dominate the offensive glass. And also, Weaver has 9 points. I mean, he's put a lot of points on the board, a lot of quality points on the board for the Spartans, and his just threat in the post and also in that mid-range area is something the Spartans can't really grab someone from their bench and instantly make up.
Coach Johnson perhaps wanting to make sure Weaver can stay in the game. Going to use a full timeout here. Give Weaver a chance to get that leg looked at. And you mentioned it, that's a big loss. If he has to come out of the game, which he's likely going to have to come out for at least a few seconds as he's getting worked on right now by the trainer. But the amount longer he's out, the more you would imagine Price is going to become a factor for the Kingsmen, as Weaver, one of the tallest guys on the team. The only person eclipsing him is Mac Welker at 6'5", but Welker maybe a little bit more of a body build, closer to a guard. He's outside usually a little bit more, so Weaver's the one you usually have down low doing the dirty work. If he's out for these final 2 minutes or however long he is out, could hurt the Spartans. We'll see what happens. It's a 2-score game, and the Kingsmen will have the ball following the timeout. And it looks like it's the right foot of Weaver that they're working on over on the sideline. Keep you updated. Didn't look to be too serious, but certainly causing him some discomfort. It's the ball inbounded by Obermeyer, and here we go. 2-possession game, just under 3 minutes to play in regulation. Penn got to win this game to keep their championship hopes alive. Spartans got to win this game to set up a winner-take-all showdown in Pool A against Zionsville, but that air ball not what Penn drew up.
Yeah, Penn going to the same play they drew up for Kuhlman. Just coming off a screen, a curl around the top of the key three-pointer, but not the same success they had on the last time they ran it. Just Kuhlman couldn't find anything there on that attempt, but notice his head is still up, and I'm sure he wants to get back that mistake on the defensive end, just hound the Spartans and try to get that ball back.
All 10 players in the Homestead backcourt here. Now eating good. And Price will move into the front court, but timeout going to be called here by Welkers. He couldn't find anyone inbound that too. And Homestead, they're only going to have 2 timeouts remaining down the stretch of this one. That could matter. We'll have to wait and see, but we've seen the Spartans struggle a little bit this season inbounding the ball. Smart decision by Welker to call the timeout rather than forcing it, but they've got to try to get this ball in cleanly.
Yeah, Coach Johnson has to draw something up to get one of his guys open to where they're in a position to bring the ball up the court safely and protect the ball. But yeah, the Spartans, not only do they sometimes struggle with handling the ball, bringing it up the court, but sometimes they just struggle with the most basic thing, just passing the ball in bounds, in play. And credit to the Kingsmen, they have the size, they have the personnel out there to disrupt anything that the Spartans do. So if the Kingsmen can just keep up this pressure, they can possibly cause some Spartan turnovers and find themselves getting back into this one very quickly.
So here we go, eating good. This is going to be the one inbound it this time rather than Welker. And good goes to Jake Kuhlman. 2:40 to go in regulation. Spartans up by 2 scores, but they have struggled a little bit from the arc this quarter. They've gone 2 of 4. Eating good to Kuhlman. Now Josh Rogers walking towards his left. Rodenbush with the ball, loses the handle on it. Bardo's going to pick it up, trying to take it to the other end. Oh, he went for the dunk. Should have just laid it up at this point. That could cost his team. They do retain possession, though. Caleb Kuhlman has it. He'll swing it out wide. 3-pointer. Oh, never mind. It actually worked out for the Kingsmen. They get an extra point out of all that. And now we have a 1-possession game with 2:03 left.
Well, Braxton, it's as simple as 3s are better than 2s. Not what Penn drew up, but nonetheless, it works out in their favor. Wide open 3. Now we have a very tight ball game.
All right, de facto 2-minute warning here with 2:03 to go. You see the Kingsman bench, they are fired up right now. They are feeling it on the sideline. Homestead, I mean, they're up by 3. They're still in control of this game, but it's hard to not look back at the games against New Haven, against Bishop Luers, even against Warsaw, games they were leading late in the second half and ended up losing. They've really got to try to close this one out, especially because this isn't just a regular season game, it's a tournament game as well.
Yeah, the Spartans, they have to look back at previous games, but they have to look at them more for the fact that they've been in those situations before, and now that they've prepared and done a lot of preparation for moments like this, they know how to handle it, and they know they can easily escape here with a win. But again, it just boils down to, can the Spartans handle the pressure that teams put on them?
Eden Good can run the baseline here if he wants, and you see him moving there. It's it into Josh Rogers. 2 minutes to go in this one. Homestead up by 3 in possession of the ball. Eden Good has it for the Spartans, guarded by Price. Now to Josh Rogers. He's guarded by Murphy. Murphy almost poked it free. Instead, it's going to be a foul. And Josh Rogers, who has not scored in this game yet, will go to the free throw line. He's 3 of 4 there on the season. Josh Rogers, a quiet morning and evening, but he can make an impact here, and he does with that first free throw. Sends it to a 4-point game.
And sometimes your role changes from day to day, from game to game, and Rogers' role here today in both games has just been a steady presence, handling the ball, hit some open looks when he gets them, but just be a steady presence and another person that can handle the ball in the face of pressure.
Obermeyer, deep three-pointer, no good, but Price cleans up. And it's hard not to think back to Wyatt Weaver being on the bench right now. He is back on the chairs, no longer being worked on by the trainer, but not in the game for the Spartans. Rodenbush with it as the trap comes. Now to Jake Kuhlman and Josh Rogers. Wyatt Weaver has it for Sparty. And that time, Welker gets it to go as he drives inside. Lead back up to 4. Bart on the other end. That's a lot of contact, and that's going to send him to the free throw line. Down by only 4. Foul called against Rodenbush. That's his second. No players really in foul trouble in this game. It's been pretty clean overall, at least on an individual basis. Bardo's first free throw, no good. He had been 3 of 4 up to that point. Still a big second one coming up, trying to cut it down to a 1-possession game. Second one from Tayshawn Bardo. That one goes. He's got 12 points in this game. It's a 3-point lead for Homestead as they inbound it. Jake Kuhlman, 2 timeouts left for each team. Eden Good has it in the front court. Double team coming. Finds Rogers. Tries to go end around and does successfully. What a move. Getting that ball to Rodenbush. 5-point lead now for the Spartans. Caleb Kuhlman swings it out. Murphy, 3-pointer. No good. Rodenbush gets the board for Homestead, but now the ball comes loose. Obermeyer to Bardo. 3-pointer. Off the mark. Possession. Not going to continue. Price can't hold on to it as it goes out of play.
Again, you saw it there. What a pass by Rogers. Nice wraparound pass to Rodenbush, and there, Kingsman just couldn't quite get the shots to fall in Price. Couldn't get his hands to secure the ball to get another shot for his team, and now they're going to have to be in scramble mode, try to get a quick turnover, which they do.
Price comes out of nowhere and gets it. But now they got to go quickly. Kuhlman, 3-pointer, and it goes. We got a 2-point game with 16 seconds to play. The immediate timeout by Coach Barack Kuhlman. And boy, oh boy, Penn is not going away. Give this team credit no matter the outcome. They have fought like crazy down the stretch of this game.
They have not gone away at all. They've just been constantly in striking distance against the Spartans, and now they find themselves only down by 2. 16 seconds left, plenty of time. I mean, if they can get another quick steal like they just did, they have a timeout. They can draw something up off of a steal. There's a lot of options for this Penn team if they are able to get a steal.
And Homestead, they've struggled a little bit from the free throw line in this game, especially in the second half. So, I mean, if you foul the Spartans, even if they go 1 of 2, it's still a one-possession game. So, obviously, you'd prefer to be winning, but if you're Coach Kuhlman, not a terrible situation for your team to be in right now. You see Coach Johnson there. What do you think he tries to draw up for his team?
He tries to draw a way for his people to get open, way for Kuhlman, Rogers, Welker, just to get open and be able to secure the ball and brace the constant pressure that they're going to face as soon as they catch it. They have to be prepared to get fouled as well. That is an option that Penn could go to.
We'll see what happens. As we expected, a press coming here from Penn. One player for each team standing in the front court of the Spartans. It's Rodenbush down there for Homestead. Price for the Kingsmen. Aiden Good to inbound it. He can run the baseline. And he's trying to find someone. He's going to burn a timeout. Homestead's only going to have one left, and that's the second time in a row Homestead's had to burn a timeout when the Kingsmen have brought some pressure on an inbound.
They're just the Spartans. There's a whole bunch of miscommunication. No one was quite sure where they were supposed to go on there. Welker and Kuhlman kind of ran into each other. Kuhlman almost fell. Just a mess right there from the Spartans, but Aiden Good able to call timeout, and now they have more time to draw something up and be able to successfully get the ball in bounds.
Quick update from the Aux Gym. South Bend St. Joe beginning to run away with it, up 61-44 over Carroll. If that score holds, the Chargers would be eliminated from championship contention. Quick game reset here. Homestead has one team foul and one timeout remaining. Possession arrow is in favor of the Spartans. Meanwhile, for Penn, any fouls they commit from here on out will send the Spartans to the free throw line. They also have one timeout remaining. No individual players in foul trouble at the moment. Getting Good again. He'll be able to run the baseline. Very similar setup out on the floor. So Homestead's offense maybe shifting a little bit to the left as they go in motion. Aiden Good throws it into Josh Rogers. Rogers, as the double team comes, just gets it to Kuhlman. That was a dangerous pass, but it works out. And now Kuhlman will be fouled, and he'll be going to the free throw line.
Almost a scary sight there for the Spartans. If one of the Kingsmen defenders was just a little up more, they could have maybe got their hands on that, maybe forced a steal. But now Kuhlman has a chance to make the Spartans lead 2 possessions.
1 of 2 on his only trip to the line this game. First one's up. That one gets the roll. Big free throw there from Kuhlman. And now if he can convert on the second, it would make it a 2-possession game with time running out. Kuhlman. Second one's up. That one goes. It's a 2-possession game. Penn gotta go quickly. Murphy with it as the Spartans bring some pressure. Smart play by Josh Rogers to intentionally foul. The Spartans still have 2 more of those to give. So you almost wonder if Penn, with so little time, almost just has to go for a catch and shoot right off the inbound.
It seems like they might have to. I mean, the Spartans have plenty of fouls, and they can just chip away this time, give Penn less and less operating room. So Spartans in a great position with the lead with 2 fouls to give.
Shot up from Bardo. That's no good. And a foul on the floor, though. Keep the ball with Penn, so they're not done just yet. Foul called against Aiden Good. Now Penn has to score almost immediately. Almost got to try to just tip this in off the inbound, and they're going to bring in some size as Christian Bonner's going to check into the game for Penn. Although they're going to take Bardo out in his place. Maybe surprising. And Bardo's been arguably the best offensive player this game. Murphy inbounds at 3-pointer, but no. And they're going to say he stepped on the line before, and that should just about do it. 3.3 left on the clock. Homestead, he's set to inbound it. Officials talking things over. I think Coach Kuhlman just wants to hear what happened. Doesn't seem too upset, but talking with the officials about the call. And now they're meeting at midcourt to discuss it. to the scores table right now, 3.3 on the clock. You see Coach Johnson there talking to his team. And they're going to add back the time that ran off, so it's back to 3.9 left on the clock. Aiden Good, inbound it. Gets it into Kuhlman, who was fouled immediately. 2 free throws coming his way.
And I don't know if you noticed there, Braxton, but Welker had a whole wide open court in front of him. Good just did not see him. And if Good were able to get that past Welker, that would have sealed the deal. But nonetheless, Kuhlman back to the line in an even less pressure situation than he was previously.
I mean, the one good thing about not passing it to Welker, there's not as much risk as of maybe an overthrow going out of play as Kuhlman misses the first. Second one from Kuhlman. That one goes. Now a 5-point game. And Coach Johnson's going to call a timeout. It'll be a full timeout. We'll step away. 5-point game with 3.2 to play.
Rethink your limits.
Following the timeout, it'll be Penn basketball down by 5 with 3.2 to play. Everyone for the Kingsmen standing all the way down court, minus the inbounder. It'll be Luke Obermeyer. Spartans having no one in the face of Obermeyer, just all of them down court trying to guard against this. So here we go, they're ready for play. Obermeyer throws it down to Bardo. To Caleb Goodman, 3-pointer is off the mark, and that will do it. Actually, a pretty good play design there, just nothing doing, and Homestead wins 54-49, and that'll set them up for a winner-take-all game in Group A tomorrow morning, bright and early at 10 a.m. when they take on Zionsville.
Spartans, I imagine, feeling much better with their performance in this year's holiday tournament than they did last year. Already winning more games here today than they did all of last year. So Spartans, coming into this tournament, they needed some momentum wins, and they got them here today.
They won this tournament 2 years ago, finished dead last season. That's not going to be the case this year. Already 2 wins, like you mentioned, and this team rolls on to an early game tomorrow morning against Zionsville. Meanwhile, for Penn, they still have 2 more games to play. They'll have a pool play game tomorrow against East Chicago, and then a placement game later in the day, but their championship hopes do come to an end with this one. But those 2 games, remember, they still matter. They're still regular season games, still count towards the record.
Yeah, just 2 heartbreakers for Penn, just right there the whole way, both games, just could not get it done towards down the stretch, and fortunately for them, their hard work in these games ultimately will result in 2 losses, but they should not feel bad at all. I mean, they played 2 good teams in Homestead and Zionsville, so a lot to work on, but a lot of positive things that they can take out of these games.
I mean, they suffered 2 defeats, but it was by a combined 7 points. So they played well overall, and in this game specifically, I feel like if they just could have got Bardo or maybe some of those other players rolling a little bit early on, this could have been a different result. Regardless, Homestead takes the victory. Who's your player of the game?
Has to be Mac Welker. Again, I picked him earlier in the game that I called, and again, he just performed. He put up 18 once again here in this one. Welker just got it going early for the Spartans, got them, jump-started their lead, and he really was just a presence throughout the entire game. Not only did he dominate offensively, he was also a presence down low. He was in there battling for rebounds. He got a couple blocks. Just Welker impacting every aspect of the game, it seemed like.
That's consistency right there. 18 points in each game. And so the Spartans get out of here with the victory. Once again, your score 54 49. That's going to wrap things up for day one of the BSN Sports Homestead Holiday Tournament. It's been a fun day of basketball. Been on the air since 10 a.m. this morning, and we get to do it all again tomorrow. So we're back shortly before 10 a.m. with pre-game coverage. It'll be Homestead and Zionsville game number 1 in Spartan Arena. HSC and Carroll will follow. That'll be a big game for HSC as they'll still have title hopes trying to get to the championship. Carroll looking like they're going to lose to South Bend St. Joe as they trail by 16, so their title hopes will likely be over. They'll be trying to play spoiler. And then tomorrow afternoon, early evening, 3 o'clock and 4:30, we'll have the third place game and the championship for you. We hope you join us again tomorrow. Until then, on behalf of the entire Homestead Live production crew that's made this happen today, and color commentator Atticus Dean, I'm Braxton All saying so long from Spartan Arena. We'll see you tomorrow.